Shalom, welcome to another video, and as always, before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racharash, and next double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of the Great Millstone who teach and who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety to all you sincere Akim. Keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless of whether people hear or whether they forbear. Alright, so this is going to be a reaction to this news article that I have pulled up. Okay, a lot of people did not know that this happened, but as you see the title, it says, "Out of control, ICE agent yells, 'Do something, B,' before shooting Chicago woman 5 times." So, we're going to read through this article. I'm going to bring out some precepts, and pretty much showing you that we have to walk circumspectly. Okay, the main point of this video is to let you Israelites out there know, don't be getting involved with everything that's going on in the world. A lot of chaos is going to ensue. People are going to rise up. Okay, you play the background, stay low key, and wait for your Yahweh Shem Shai to rise up to the prey, as it says in Zephaniah 3 and 8. All right. Otherwise, this could be you. Okay, so let's go ahead and start reading the article. All right, bring out some precepts. Yahweh righteous, I mean the Heavenly Father's will is edifying to the elect. All right, so it says, the video is in stark conflict with the government's account that federal agents in Broadview were boxed in by 10 cars, quote unquote, and the woman, Miramar Martinez, age 30, was one of the drivers. All right, it says, an immigration and customs enforcement agent in Chicago is facing scrutiny after a new video shows him yelling at a local woman, "Do something, B," before pulling over and shooting her 5 times. A body camera video suggests. The video is in stark conflict with the government's account that federal agents in Broadview were boxed in by 10 cars, and the woman, Miramar Martinez, 30, was one of the drivers. Agents were unable to move their vehicles and exited the car. One of the drivers, who rammed the law enforcement vehicle, was armed with a semi-automatic weapon, officials claimed on X, Twitter. However, as court documents emerge, more alleged discrepancies are coming to light. Martinez's attorney, Christopher Parente, offered to play an agent's body camera video that shows the shooting. In the footage, he claims an agent turns a federal vehicle in Brighton Park, not Broadview, into Martinez's vehicle when he taunts her to do something, B word. He then allegedly exits his vehicle and proceeds to shoot Martinez. It comes after the terrifying moment an ICE agent held a family with a baby at gunpoint and committed a shocking act was caught on camera. This is the woman here. Okay. Says Martinez is a U.S. citizen who works for a school and has supportive letters about her character filed in court. "It's a miracle she's still alive," Parente said. Officials had initially alleged that Martinez was armed and rammed her car into federal agents threatening to shoot officers. However, prosecutors now acknowledge that she did not point or display a weapon. Parente also confirmed that while she had a valid firearm, she also had a concealed carry license. All right, and there's a video, all right, of an ICE agent that's going around. Maybe I could find it again and do a video on that, where he said, American said, "You'd violate my rights," and he said, "You ain't got no rights." Okay, which is what we've been telling you, Israelites. You don't have any rights here in Babylon the Great. Okay, the fact that you have to go and protest tells you that you don't have any rights. All right, so when you're doing that, you're pretty much begging to be treated fairly, be treated equally. It's not going to happen, man. Get that out of your mind. Okay, you don't have any rights. And the scriptures, we're going to go ahead and go to them next. All right, tell us, all right, pretty much that you have to walk on eggshells. Okay, it's not so much that you are afraid of them, okay, because we fear no man. All right, but you don't want to tempt the Most High. Okay, you have to walk circumspectly. Okay, his instructions are for us to play the background. If you jump out there and try to protest or fight physically, all right, with law enforcement, it's not going to end well for you. Okay, not because the society will not eventually be taken down and destroyed, but because it's not the time for that. All right, our time is just to be preaching the word. Okay, we're not community activists. This is Sirach chapter 9 and verse 13. It says, "Keep thee far from the man that hath the power to kill, so shalt thou not doubt the fear of death. And if thou come unto him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently. Remember that thou goest in the midst of snares, and that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city. Okay, in other parts of the world, all right, America has made people soft, and also it gave you the false illusion that we live in a fair society. We do not. All right. Okay, and Trump he's getting ready to show you Americans that. But we're worried about Jake. We don't give a fuck about the rest of Americans. We're worried about our people. All right. But Trump is getting ready to show you. He's shown you since he got in office that he doesn't care about violating rights, violating Constitution. All right. He doesn't give a damn, man. Okay. In other countries around the world, if you speak out against the established authorities, you'll be put to death on spot, on site. Okay. Here in Babylon the Great, the Heavenly Father had it to where he set up, he had these devils, okay, set up certain laws and all that kind of stuff, for freedom of speech and all that. But that doesn't really fucking exist, okay? Because with Trump just announced the NSPM 7, the National Security Protection Measure Memorandum, something like that. All right, that anybody who pretty much has opposing views to what you could call so-called white American culture is going to be labeled an enemy of the state. So you really don't have no rights. Okay, he's attacking free speech as we speak. All right, you saw what happened with the Captain Kirk situation. All right, a lot of people got fired, lost their jobs, behind this stuff. So you really don't have no rights, man. Okay, they tell you. See, it's ironic because they would tell you they would call so-called liberals, which we're no political affiliation. We're definitely not liberal. But we're not with these Edomite conservatives either. All right. But they would say, they would talk about liberals being snowflakes and all that kind of stuff, because they would say things that were blatantly racist, and then they'd be called out for it. And they say, oh, you're being a snowflake. You're attacking our freedom of speech. But now when it's flipped and one of their Edomites gets deleted, all right, now all of a sudden you can't talk about people like that. Have compassion, have empathy, et cetera, et cetera. But we know Sleazy E is a hypocrite. Okay, our point is not to try to tell you or to try to reprove Esau, because he's not going to be reproved. All right, he's going to be the devil that the Heavenly Father created him to be. Okay, our point is to tell you Israelites out there, all right, to know what you're up against. Okay, and to move with wisdom, to walk accordingly. All right, you got these Israelite groups that are boasting, getting into fights with people and all this kind of stuff. That's not what we're out here for. All right, as a matter of fact, we'll go ahead and read this out of Matthew the 10th chapter. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and start at verse 16. Okay, and this is red letter, Yahushua speaking, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Okay, it says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. All right. So, okay, we are in the midst of wolves constantly. Okay, you have to see it as everybody who's not in this truth is an enemy combatant. And you also have to understand that these 2/3 that are getting grabbed up, beaten, shot, whatever, are going to be thrown into these camps. Okay, don't feel bad for them. They heard the word, they rejected it, so now the judgment is coming. Here you go, trying to step in and fight for them. You're fighting against the judgment of the Heavenly Father. Remember that Esau is the sword of the Heavenly Father. Okay, so anybody who gets caught up in these judgments, they deserved it. The Heavenly Father ain't just going to get. You're not just going to get grabbed up, beaten, all that kind of stuff. All right, the elect is going to go through certain things, but that's going to be for testing. All right, to be tried as gold in the fire. When you see these 2/3 getting, and it's going to get a whole lot worse. All right, they're going to start dropping bodies, man. Okay, just know, and once again, these were the rebellious people. These were the mockers. These were the scoffers. Don't have any damn empathy for these people, man. Okay, the scriptures tell you not to. Even Yahushua don't have empathy for them. All right, Yahushua said, I pray for them. John 17:9. I pray for the elect. I pray not for the world, man. Okay, you can't. Hey, what's that? Jeremiah 15, Ezekiel 14th chapter. All right, he said, even if these righteous men stood before me, I would not hear. Okay, Jeremiah. He said, pray not for this people, neither lift up a cry for them, for I will not hear when they cry unto me. Why? Because the Heavenly Father's been crying unto them through this ministry, and they've been rejecting the word. They've been talking BS. They've been on TikTok making videos about the Hebrew Israelites. So when these niggas start getting dropped in mass numbers, that's on them, man. They heard the warning. They heard the message. They didn't want to hear it. All right, they didn't want to take heed. So whatever happens to them, that's on them. All right, but us, hey, the hopeful elect. Okay, once again, once it says, be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Everybody that is around us is potentially an enemy combatant. All right, these people out here, these spineless, weak, two-third, effeminate niggas, all right, will rise up against you when that time comes, man, to try to save their own lives. They're not your friend. So don't feel bad when the Most High starts deleting these people in mass numbers. It says, but beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, and for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. So people are going to turn on each other, family, friends, all that don't matter. You're going to find out your only real friends are your friends in Yahweh Shai. Everybody else can't fucking trust them, man. All right, they ain't shit, they ain't about shit. If they were, they'd be in this truth. Let's get Ephesians, the 5th chapter, and we're going to close it out here. Okay, something short. Ephesians chapter 5 and verse, I'm going to start at verse 15 and read 15 and 16. That'll be it. All right, it says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Okay, and they always have been, but it's about to get a whole lot worse. Greater evils than that which thou hast seen shall be done hereafter. Okay, the mask that E has on is coming off, all right, and he's going to just take it off fully, and he's really going to show his horns in the times we're coming into, man, okay? When they come in to establish that NWO, all right, and you got a lot of Edomites, they're angry, okay? They're angry because they feel like they've been duped out of their inheritance, all right, because their elites have not shared the inheritance with the low-level Edomites, so they're the ones that are signing up for ICE and all this, and they're pissed off to see Jake out here prospering, man. Okay, even though Jake is catching hell, which is that shows you how low Sleazy E really is that after all the terror and destruction that has been put upon Jake is still rising up. Okay, but that pisses off a lot of these Edomites, so they're gonna come in with great wrath, full force, and that's okay. Let them do what they're gonna do, and we gonna do what we got to do. And the Heavenly Father, he gonna do what he got to do, and he's gonna defend his elect in his timing. Don't rise up thinking that you're going to go head up with them with arms and weapons and all that kind of stuff. They have the blessing of the sword, but that is getting ready to soon be taken from them after their work is finished on the 2/3, and then the elect will rise up with spiritual power, and that's it for them. That's when the time is going to come, all right, for things to go to go at it with Sleazy E. But as of right now, just chill, kick back, and watch this movie unfold, all right? Verse 17. Wherefore, for this reason, be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of Yahweh is. His will is for us to wait until he rises up to the prey. Okay, and that time is coming very soon. So, I'm going to end it off there. Heavenly Father's will, it was edifying as always. We give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakhwadash. And until next time, Shalom, and abide b'ball.